Light it up today on a Tuesday. Fairly chilly out. I don't like this cold weather coming our way. My name's Mike Missanelli. The gang's here. Bill's here. Ray is here. This show has to be dedicated to the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles because, oh, my God, is he getting praised all over the nation, and especially with the Philadelphia media. Let me just read this headline here. Nick Sirianni deserves credit for the Eagles' physicality in beating the Ravens. He also may deserve a contract extension. Now, this is something that we talked about yesterday. I am a proponent of the contract extension. I believe that with the team in the state that they're in right now, if we believe that this team really likes him and plays for him, would it not gild them even further if the organization and management says, I believe in this guy because he believes in you and you believe in him, and we're going to give him an extension, and everybody sings Kumbaya as we come down the stretch where the Eagles are looking to get the number one seed in the NFC. Bill Colarulo, who is a little jealous these days. A lot of people are jumping on the Sirianni bandwagon that he actually built. And so he doesn't like it when people hop on because it's depleting his total of and firm belief in the man from the jump. These Johnny-come-latelys irritate Bill. These Johnny-come-latelys that quote everybody now on what he does for this team. This was something Bill was saying a long time ago, right, Ray?
That's right.
So, Bill, I'm going to give you the floor right now, and we're going to talk about it. Now, I'm not saying this tongue-in-cheek. A lot of people out there go, well, he's messing. He's saying this tongue. No, I'm not. I am not saying it tongue-in-cheek. When I came into this year, even though I said I don't think he deserved to come back, I also said that I used the double eyeball emoji, that I would be watching what transpired. And what has now transpired is they could be the best team in the league. They could be better than the Lions. They could be better than anybody in the AFC. They could be the Super Bowl favorite. So I would be an idiot if I continued to look at him with jaundiced eye emojis. I got the full-blown eye emojis, and my eyes are telling me I like what's going on. Bill?
Yeah, I obviously like what's going on as well. And Nick Sirianni has proven that he is a good football coach. You've now seen him lead teams to 10-plus winning seasons with different coordinators every single year. You go back 2 years ago, they had Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. Last year, I know it didn't end the way people wanted it to end, obviously, but they did it with Brian Johnson, Sean Desai, Matt Patricia. Now this year, you have Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore. Good coordinators. I'm not taking anything away from the coordinators. But the head coach has been the one constant with this football team over the last 4 seasons. And now 4 years in a row, they're going to make the playoffs. 4 years in a row, they're going to have a winning record. And the brand of football that this team plays with right now, this physicality that they are playing with, comes directly from the head coach's messaging. And when you hear players like Saquon Barkley and these rookies, Cooper DeJean, literally saying things that Nick Sirianni delivers in meetings, that's a sign of a good coach. He's got his players' ear. They are listening to him. And this thing could have gone off the rails quickly, Mike. When this was a 2-2 football team and they got dominated by the Tampa Bay Bucks, I mean, that was an embarrassing loss down in Tampa. What happened during the bye week? This team stayed together. Sirianni looked internally. They figured out what things they should do differently. And all they've done now is 8 straight wins. But here's the crazy thing. We talked a little bit yesterday about Sirianni. I was getting text messages, Mike. I was getting tweets from people still calling this guy a clown, still calling this guy a high school Harry. So I'm shocked. Like, what else does this guy need to do to win over a fan base? And when you say extend him, I don't know if they have to extend him now, but he certainly deserves to come back next year. But I still have people saying, well, if they lose in the playoffs, he should be gone. What does this guy have to do to prove to the city that he's a good football coach?
At one point, we talked about whether if they somehow lost in the first round of the playoffs, that would be catastrophic enough that you would have to consider moving on from him. But this is before I see the Eagles as now maybe the best team in the league, right? So, I was saying that prior to this notoriety they have gained in the last couple of weeks, especially after they beat the Ravens, convincing everybody how good they are. So the guy has actually coached a really supreme team in this league. So even if the shocking result would happen in the playoffs, I agree with you, Bill. He probably should not get fired.
No, you couldn't.
But we're so far from, see, that's not even a conversation we should be having, whether he should be fired.
No, we should be talking about Coach of the Year or not.
And that's where I was going next. Because you're an advocate of him being Coach of the Year.
At least in the discussion, Mike.
Well, he's probably in the discussion.
He's not.
Well, he would be for the people that vote, I think. I don't know. Maybe not in the public consciousness, but for the people that vote, why wouldn't you consider him Coach of the Year? Now, I think Campbell has I think he's got the media in the palm of his hand right now for that award. But you'd be hard-pressed to dismiss Sirianni as a Coach of the Year candidate for where the Eagles are right now. They're getting universal praise for being a good team. He's the coach of a team getting universal praise for being a good team. So why wouldn't he be in the conversation?
Well, he should be. And look, one of the things that they had issues with before the bye was tackling. And you saw Nick Sirianni change up how they practice tackling. Mm-hmm. They're now in full pads more often. They practice tackling, and they're one of the best tackling teams in the NFL. But when you say in the conversation for Coach of the Year, maybe the voters would think differently. But according to Vegas right now, according to the odds, Sirianni isn't even close. He's 12th in odds at a plus 4,000 to win Coach of the Year. Dan Campbell, the frontrunner, at plus 120. And what I want people to tell me, because I don't understand, what does Dan Campbell do that Nick Sirianni doesn't do?
You're missing the point about the odds. Vegas is trying to lure people into betting other people other than Campbell. So I wouldn't go by that. I would go by what the voters are thinking. And there's no way the voters have him 12th. Right, the odds are now in conflict with the actuality of voting for Coach of the Year. So, but here's I want to discuss this because this extension thing is something that people can dig into. And this is calling out the Eagle fan base here. As much as you don't like the guy, can you give it up that he deserves an extension? Now, I'm not saying that he deserves an extension. What I'm saying is I want to take a survey of the people on where they are right now as far as this extent. He's going into the final year of a contract next year. I think they will absolutely give him an extension in the offseason, no matter what happens here. But right now, I want to know where the fan base is leaning. Has he impressed you enough where you go, yeah, you should give him an extension? This is what I want to know today from the people.
Yeah, I'm curious as well because, look, one of the things that came up this offseason, and Ray reminded me last night in his email, was us talking about, well, how much credit will Sirianni get if this team is successful? Because you brought in Kellen Moore to run the offense. You brought in Vic Fangio to run the defense. Is there anything Sirianni could do to win over the fan base when it's structured in a way where you think, what does Sirianni do? But I think with the way this season's gone, and I mentioned it yesterday, they've won more games away from Lincoln Financial Field than any team in the NFL has won away from their home stadium all season. Mm-hmm. That's not just the offensive and defensive coordinator. That is the head coach having his team ready to win on the road, something they've done more than anybody in the NFL since Sirianni became the head coach. To me, that is a direct correlation to good coaching that comes from the top.
Folks, I tell you, Ray, my man is jelly that other people are hopping on board with this guy. He is so jelly, and we'll talk about it.
I love it, Ray.
There's another topic I want to discuss today. Embiid is not playing again tonight.
Oh, boy.
And it's the knee maintenance, and it's personal reasons. I don't know what that even means.
Wait, I missed that. They threw in personal reasons?
Personal reasons, yes. Now, here's what I really would like to dig into today. There are a lot of people out there that are saying they should shut him down for the year and tank the season. And I'm actually curious how many people feel that way. And I'm not telling you how I feel, because I think that would be, well, let me tell you how I feel. I think it's ridiculous. But there are a lot of people who are just punting this season, and they're saying, let's get the best draft pick we can, and meanwhile, we'll focus on his health, and we'll waste another season. And I go, I can't waste any more seasons. But I want to talk about that today. We have all kinds of other things that we want to talk about, including this baseball topic, where they're proposing, not really directly, but in the clouds, about something called the golden at-bat, which makes my stomach curdle.
Oh, boy.
Frankly. All right? So we'll talk about all that. And also this. I have to ask a question because I came in today, and I have this little seat that I sit on, which is like it puts your posture in better spot, and I get this back situation. So I have this seat. I forget what it's called, but I got it online. So after the show, I sit on it during the show, and after the show, I put it on the desk. Well, today I came in, and the seat was on a seat at the desk I sit at. And so I sat on it, not even looking, and it had gum on it. So there was a piece of gum that is now stuck to my buttocks and my pants. Now, here's my question. Is the old gum on the seat prank tired, or is it still viable?
Well,
because this is something that the kids do in elementary school, right? Is that still a viable prank? Somebody pranked me in this office with gum on the seat.
Well, we got to first find out if it was, in fact, a prank. And if it is, our show's going to war. Because no one's pranking anyone on our show, Ray. We're the only ones that prank people on our show.
Now, there's a lot of people out there saying, good, they got him.
We're going to find this out.
You know, I remember I put a pencil on a seat when a kid sat down in, like, third grade. And I got in trouble for that. And that's akin to, like, the pencil trick, putting a little gum there. But now I got a sticky ass.
You and me both with all this Sirianni talk.
That's right. I'm sitting down on a seat, and every time I come up, it's like...
Ray just walked down.
610-632-0975 is how you get in. We're late for a break. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Ricky Bit.